How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Interesting innings, couple of sixes to finish. Lots of sixes in the middle and in the beginning. They went at nearly 11s in the power play, nearly 12s in the middle. And somehow, the Lucknow Supergiants went from 161 for 2 to 209 for 8. They lost 6 for 48 last 7.5 overs or so. So we try and make sense of it all in the opening game for both Lucknow and the Delhi Capitals at Visakhapatnam. On Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. Now Matthew Hayden, Ambati, Rayudu, Piyush, Chawla all went between 170 and 190, which quite frankly, now that I look at it, was, the Lucknow tried their best to make your predictions, pull it back towards your predictions. But Rayudu, how would you explain the story of that innings?
I think till the ball was hard and new, maybe they found it easier to really hit the ball, and later on I felt it was gripping a bit in the pitch, and also Delhi bowled really well, especially Kuldeep, he was instrumental, and also Rishabh Pant coming at 4 was not ideal, especially against the spin of Delhi. And I think maybe that's where they lost the momentum. Rishabh Pant's wicket really costed them, I think, those 20-30 runs.
That drop catch,
I
mean, that drop catch, that was huge.
It broke Piyush Chawla's heart, that catch. Forget Vipraj Nigam. But
well, it will break anyone's heart, and especially for a debutant. Like, I've seen him closely and I know he's a brilliant bowler. And he created that opportunity because looking at the batting order of Lucknow, so after Miller came, you saw the batting order. It was Ayush, Badoni, Shardul Thakur. So you don't really expect them to hit those big sixes. So if you take Pooran's wicket there, so they would have been struggle, and my prediction would have been closed then.
Oh, you would have been spot on. Because you would have been dropped on 17. As it turns out, he got 75, Nicholas Pooran.
He got smacked for a 6 the very next ball after that as well. And your boy went for 17 and over.
And never got the ball again.
Yeah,
let's talk about that key over though. Tristan Stubbs bowled an over and went 28.
For 28. Well bowled.
Harsh man.
Nicholas Pooran is a dangerous hitter. We know that. His strike rate through that back end is 180. It's huge. So, yeah, that was a pretty tough over for Tristan Stubbs, who just seemed like he was dishing up a buffet of boundaries.
You said this to me casually, but I think it's a very good point to bring up on the show as well. Pooran is a career-ending kind of bowler.
Yes, he is somebody like if you're just a pure bowler, suppose if Tristan Stubbs was a pure overseas bowler,
right?
1 over, 28 run, captains will think, okay, whether we have to play him the next game or should we go for some other option. And I told you about Tristan Stubbs when he came into bowl. I said, first 2 balls, if he doesn't get a wicket, he'll get hit for at least 3 to 4 sixes. Yep. That's what exactly happened. Because Nicholas Pooran is that kind of a player, and you have to give that credit to Pooran for that kind of a batting.
Now, sometimes this is what happens when you sit on an auction table and think that everybody can bowl. Just because it's written right arm off spin or right arm leg spin at the side. So, especially bowling against Pooran.
Yeah,
you'll be found out.
And then when we break down numbers on shows like ours, we look at numbers against off spin, why are off spinners fading away? This is the context. Let's talk Akshar's captaincy in that regard though, because he bowled the young leggy in the power play. He got a wicket. He then bowled that over of Stubbs. He hasn't bowled himself out, and Kuldeep Yadav came in the following over. That key wicket of Pant. After that, the collapse went. How do you think he went, Akshar? Did he miss a few things on his captaincy debut?
Yeah, I mean, it's still early days and he's also learning on the job, so to say. And it's not easy when you have Marsh and Pooran going, hammer and tongs there, and they scored 147 runs in that total. It's not easy to captain, and he thought, bringing the leg spinner would be good because he's an unknown commodity and these guys have not seen him before. But they were unrelenting, and Akshar should have bowled himself out on that pitch, especially where the ball was stopping just a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a very important result-oriented game this. If they win this game, then a lot can be forgiven. But if they lose Delhi Capitals, then you'll be thinking about, could he have bowled Stark, perhaps to Pooran? I believe there's a proper matchup over there, Stark v Pooran. Eventually, that's such a timely wicket. It might have come a bit late, Haydos, but Pooran bats another 4 overs or 3 overs. Different story. How do you think Stark bowled, by the way?
Well, we were commenting off air that he looked like he's up for it, and that was one thing that we said actually in the pre-show, that he has had quite a lot of time away from the game.
Sorry, the matchup is there for you. 4 times out of 6 for Pooran for Stark getting Pooran.
Yeah, so what we're saying is that there was the potential for him to bowl at that stage, and also for Axar Patel as captain. You don't want your captain as well just holding himself back, you know. Like you can understand the mentality. You don't want to, you know, be greedy as the captain and have that as a kind of, you know, mindset to the rest of your players. But if he's not a better bowler than Tristan Stubbs, then I'm not here.
Yeah. Or even Axar himself, which is interesting how Axar, the captain, handles Axar, the bowler.
Well, as Edo's mentioned, like he was spot on because Axar, the way he bowled in the power play, he bowled really well. The economy was really good. He could have bowled that over because if you want to take a chance against Pooran or the other set batter, you have to bring the proper bowler who can at least, if he'll not go for that many runs, and he might end up getting a wicket as well because you got subs thinking two left-handers are there and you might end up getting a wicket. So why not Axar Patel, because he's somebody who can really angle the ball across to the left-handers.
No, Axar Patel, if he's watching our show, he'd be staring at Samir Rizvi. Because he thought, you know, my move actually brought about a wicket.
Correct. If you would have held on.
Yeah.
I remember India-West Indies T20 series in 23, where Hardik Pandya was captain, and he bowled Axar Patel 1 over, I think, to Pooran, and after that in the following games, he didn't bowl him at all. We were being critical of, you know, give Axar the ball. No, he could still get him out and whatnot. Now I think I owe Hardik also an apology. Maybe it was Axar who said, I don't fancy this matchup.
Yeah, it's no good for me. I'm out.
Okay, let's talk about why, in spite of being in a position of 161 for 2, that innings just fizzled out. And do you sense it started with Pant? You said that in your opening comments.
Yeah, I mean, we all talked about his short selection against spin. He is going for that 6 option rather than playing a 4 or, you know, to build an innings, play gaps. So that batsmanship quality needs to be improved in his game, especially in the middle overs, if he wants to bat in the middle overs. So I think it's all started from there. And once your captain gets out, and you have Ayush Badwani, whose strike rate against spin is not great
either,
as well. So it's not a great batting lineup against slow bowling that you know, LSG has.
So he wasted 6 balls as well.
Yeah, he's played out and over, effectively.
You know, so to me, that's that batsmanship that you're talking about. It may not, especially when the previous over went for 28.
Yeah.
You know, so the reality is, it's just trying to understand that you maybe got 1 or 2 balls, but then you've got to get off strike. And he's surely good enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Feed the bloke that's actually smashing him. Just keep it simple like that.
It's not like he's a young captain either. I don't want to be too sort of slamming him after 1 innings, 1 game, but new game, new franchise. You've decided to bat at 4. Your team is in a commanding position, and that's where I think people think, yeah, that's why Pant is not a sure shot in the Indian team. You know, for situations exactly like that. It's not an excuse anymore. He's not young or he's not inexperienced. What is missing, in your opinion? Both of you and Piyush as well. But
I
what is missing?
think it's the same thing. It's just, you know, game awareness, especially in the middle overs. You have seen best batsmen in the middle overs try to get off strike at least in the first 4 or 5 balls, get the hang of what's happening, you know, look at the field, the gaps, and hitting 4s is essential because hitting 6ers eventually will come when your timing gets right. But initially it's always those gaps, the batsmanship, good shots, you know, playing those late cuts, sweeps, hitting over covers, hitting beside covers. So all these shots have to come, I mean, for a good batsman at 4.
Well, I agree with him because if you see when he came into bat, so when he was defending the ball also, he was just trying to just defend the ball straight. And in T20 and in one-day cricket nowadays, even the bowler is happy to give you 1. So if you just have to angle it a bit and you'll get a 1. And fielder's already on the line. So if you just get off to the strike, it will become for your partner who's already, you know, smashing everything.
Yes.
Because if you play 6-7 balls like that, he gets frustrated on the other end.
I have a theory. You want to hear it?
Yeah, come on.
Okay. So I remember breaking this down with the Glenn Maxwell conversation we did. That Maxi is an ego batter in many ways. If you show him data and it says you don't strike well against leg spin, which I think was the conversation at the point, and Maxi addressed this in a press conference and he called it bull. You know what, you explained what bull is and the other half as well. And he literally said it. So he said it's bull. And that's why every time a spinner comes on, Maxi is not interested in countering the matchup by getting the other guy on. He wants to show, and sometimes it comes off. I'm trying to think of whether Pant also, as much as you tell him, you know, this may not be a favourable matchup, so let's turn it around. But is there perhaps a little bit of ego batting in play when he plays spin?
But it was actually more of a frozen behaviour. that human instinct of flight,
Fight or flight.
fight or flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was more or less just sort of like neutral territory. You want your captain in that situation to own that moment. I mean, if you're coming in down the order, as you well know, you've got maybe, 17 or 18 balls on average for you to make impact. You're an impact player. That's your particular role. So you waste 6 of those. And we're being super critical here too, by the way. I mean, it's the first game.
Not
of the
me, it's you
IPL.
guys. Yeah. You can just
started it.
You're putting us in the spotlight.
You just call him an egomaniac.
I never roll back the show. I'm never going to say it's ego batting. It's good to have ego if you're a big player.
Mate, the
Great players,
The fans are actually texting me now. So.
Yeah. so far he hasn't played for CSK or RCB, so I don't get any grief when I say things. So I like you
We're
very
being
much,
tough
Rishabh.
is the point.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now I am no good, so let me move on and actually look at the chase. He's got a job to do. Pant. He still has 209.
Yeah.
It's an inexperienced bowling lineup. Can they make a game out of this?
Well, they'll have to bowl really well, and it really depends on the power play because you need a couple of wickets in the power play. And this guy, Siddhar, you'll definitely see him bowling in the power plays because he has done well for LSG in previous years. So I think a couple of wickets in power play would be good.
But who's going to bowl in the death?
Yeah, this game could go down to be a death overs game.
And when you have impact player as a left-arm spinner,
Yeah.
so who is going to bowl your last 4 death overs? Shardul Thakur,
Prince Yadav.
Prince
so
Yadav.
I said on the show that Prince Yadav from UP, so there are 2 Prince Yadav. So he's the one from Delhi and he's a proper medium fast bowler. So
Yeah.
I changed my
is
statement here
the-
that he's not that 3rd or 4th
That's
seamer.
very-
He's like a proper fast bowler.
It's very benevolent of you. You've crowned the right prince now.
Yes.
All right. Let's get predictions as we look ahead to the chase. There's a lot to talk about to give credit to the Delhi bowling too. We'll spend more time on that at the end of the game. We'd love to see how both these teams go in this second innings. But Win Forecaster says Lucknow Supergiants is at
68%.
68.73%, nearly 69, right. Matthew Hayden, I want you to go first this time.
I think win predictor's not correct. I think Delhi, assuming they do get off to a decent start, should be all over this game.
Okay, Delhi to win this for Haydos, Rayudu.
I think LSG is because they have so many unknown commodities in terms of bowling. And also I sense this pitch is slowing down a bit. It's also gripping.
Very interesting. If Lucknow get a win, that'd be huge for them. Shardul Thakur wasn't even in the squad until 2 days back, or officially in the squad, is starting proceedings. Piyush.
Starting proceeding for the team, but I'll still go with Delhi to win.
Okay. All right. Piyush Chawla.
He's got the chance to be a genius here. 'Cause we've gone.
2 of you have gone Delhi. Rayudu has gone.
I've personally criticised win predictor. That's how bad I'm going.
No, that's okay. Wait, maybe that speaks more to win predictor than it does to you. All right, on that note, thank you very much to Haydos, Piyush and Rayudu. Tell you, it's a really interesting game to unpack after we've seen both teams bat, bowl and see the results. So join us for that conversation on Maruti Suzuki Arena Presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.